squatters must go and should go, simply because that's a public land, right? You just cannot go and occupy the public land.
Dr. Tilak Bahadur Shrestha, sir. Welcome to the Gorkha Spirit.
Namaskar, namaste.
How do you see the squatters issue?
Yeah, we just mentioned that before. In my opinion, squatters must go and should go, simply because that's a public land, right? You just cannot go and occupy the public land. And having said that, the real poor people who are squatting over there, government should have some kind of program to take care of them temporarily, not to permanently, because there are so many homeless people in Nepal. The government cannot take care of each and every of them. We should try, but it can be done. One thing. And the second one is, it is not only social issues, it's also political issues and also environmental issues. Because the rivers must have some space left and right to its flows and other kinds of regulations. Also, they are natural parking and natural places where other people they should able to go there and enjoy the rivers environment. Now, that cannot be occupied. And also, what basically happening is, the people who are really living over there are not truly poor squatters. Most of them are actually very rich people and using their political clout to occupy public land. Especially, it's done by MLA, Congress, and Maoist political parties who are, taking over a public land and to grow their cadres, their people. Now, that is a crime. That's a crime against the nation, crime against society, crime against the environment. And they must be punished, who are enjoying that. Having said that, the government should also differentiate the few really poor squatters and make some kind of provision for them. Thank you.
Squatters are promised by the Rashtriya Swatantra Party, Rasapa leaders, Baren Saha, Ravi Lamichhane, and other leaders as well, say their house will not be destroyed. But they destroyed now. So what's the difference between before election and after elected?
I have no idea what they promised before, but that's a public land and they should go. That's the bottom line. Now, when do you say bottom line? When you try to implement them, as I said before, maybe there's some kind of a provision, some kind of leeway, so that the transition maybe a little more easier, right? But the bottom line is very simple. That's a public land and you have to go. That's the bottom line.
In this squatters issue, the Nepalese army also support the Nepal police and APF, armed police force. Do you think it's common to use Nepalese army in such activities?
Well, it is about law and order. It is not political issues, right? And so, I don't know what's the measurement of the government, that what will be their risk perception. There may be violence perception. So in that case, there's a police in front and APF also. But I'm not the expert on the security thing to say should RB come or not. But then you expect violence, and so you have to have a proper provision and the system to take care of the anticipated violence. And also sometimes what happens is, if you show really the force, then you don't have to fight. If you don't show the force, then you have to fight. So that's a problem. And so, in my opinion, just to show in the front that don't be violent, just quit the place. And in that case, whatever government does, I'm not expert to make a comment on that. But whatever need to be done, simple as that.
After the Gen Z movement in Bhadra 23-24, so after then the Nepalese armies are seen in the roads in very common time.
Right.
So do you think if they are free in such activity, they will not return to the barracks? People are afraid. So what do you think about this?
No, I don't think people are afraid of that. But since there was anticipation or expectation that all the political parties like MLA or Congress or even Maoist, since they were in the power and now they lost the power and so on and so forth. So they were expecting maybe they will try to have violence from that side. And so before it happens, and so the army going around, so-called the marching around, is just a sort of force. Hey, please be peaceful and don't be don't be violent. So that was simply a matter of keeping the law and order in a proper place. And lots of time, what happens is, if you don't do anything, and then the people might think, hey, you may be able to do bad stuff. But now if you show the force, then that part will become so. I mean, I'm not really expert in the security issues, but I will imagine the government and their experts, like the police force and the army people, they might have done lots of calculations and thought about this to say what will be the best person of it. Now, having said that, what's the result? Because of that kind of a show of force, there was no violence, right? So evidently that worked good.
Normally, children's just like show unhappiness to their parents, like the common people. So their disagreement with the government, but the squatters didn't show any disagreement in that time. So do you think it's a type of dictatorship or something else?
Why do you call it dictatorship? I don't say that. It's just a matter of law and order, right? The dictatorship is basically about political issues. But now, suppose there's a people occupying public land, and it's a duty of the government to let them go. Matter of fact, the question should be, why earlier governments, like a Congress government and Maoist government and MRA government, let them stay there so long, right? So the question is not that this government doing good job. That should have been done long time back, right? So the proper question is, why not earlier government did not do anything about this? That should be a proper question.
Thank you, sir, for joining with us.
Namaskar. Thank you very much.